There you go. Say hello, Kellen. Say hello to Coach Josh.
Hi, Coach Josh.
All right, push day today. Um, 9 exercises total. It just so happens to work out 3 for chest, 3 for triceps, 3 for shoulders. I'm going to do 1 set with the isometric forearm forklift, and then one with the resistance band. I'll just explain everything else is free weights. I'll explain a little bit of what I find with what I do with the isometric strap, and then what I do with the resistance band to make it. Because with the resistance band, all the tension's at the bottom. So, anyways, I'll explain that. So, I'll get right to it. First, we're gonna do flat dumbbell press, and then we're gonna do incline dumbbell fly, and then assisted dips. And I take about a minute between sets there. And then when I switch over to the tricep stuff, I'll switch all the stuff around to get ready for those exercises. And then I'll take like probably 3 minutes between the chest stuff and tricep stuff. So this will probably take about 30 minutes total. Because Kellen has my phone, I can't quite track the time, but how long each set is. But what I usually do is I start a timer as soon as I start the set, and that will. So let's say for the first one, it is 2 minutes flat. So if I'm getting more than 2 minutes uh, on this first exercise, that means that I'm progressing. Once I do get more than 2 minutes for a single set, I typically will add resistance. So you want to hit failure somewhere between 30 seconds and 90 seconds. All right, ready, Kellen? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. First set here. Nice and light because we're going slow. This is going to be a drop set, 35 to 30. Getting some good angles.
Yeah. There we go.
It's a good set. Okay, incline flies. Just one single set of these, no drop. Dips next. Okay, you don't need a band obviously, but it lets me get a longer set, which I like for these. Easier on the elbows too. One more, and we switch to triceps. Obviously, you're hitting triceps with dips too, and you're hitting front delts and so on, but I just like to get all the pushing stuff out of the way. What I like to do too is, because this is going to take like 30, 40 minutes maybe for this workout, I typically do 3 or 4 sets of bench press beforehand, just training the skill, so not the same way that I'm doing this, where I'm doing it nice and slow and controlled, where I'm actually trying to fatigue the muscle. With the skill stuff, bench, deadlift, squat, for me anyways, that's more like powerlifting. I'm trying to, but I'm not going anywhere near failure. I'm staying like, a couple reps in the tank, just practicing the movement, and that's kind of how I warm up too. Dips are my arch nemesis. I don't know if it's a shoulder thing, but Okay, so in between groups is when I take a little more of a rest. Just to set up the other stations. Whew. Okay, so we've got skull crushers first. That's going to be a drop set. And then we're going to do tricep dips, old school, off a chair. And then the pull downs. So I'll give it a minute here. Not sure tucked in. Discipline, right, Kellen?
Yeah. Been going for almost 13 minutes.
13? Okay. So if I go by that pace, it'll be a 45-minute workout.
Yep. Just about as much time you do for a regular workout without doing video.
Yeah. Should be the same time.
Yeah.
I've watched stuff. Obviously, there's negative people out there with anything when it comes to exercises. I've heard that people don't like the 2-arm, 1 dumbbell skull crushers, but I feel it a lot, so I don't care what they have to say. Okay, let's do this. Drop set, so 35 and then 30. Okay, that's that. Okay. All right. Tricep dip. In between exercises, I try to keep the same amount of time between. If you weren't tracking the how long the sets take. I guess I'm not today, but if you're not, doesn't really matter if you go right from one exercise to the next, because it's all about just fatiguing that group of muscles. But I do the same amount of rest between, because I want to track if I'm make sure that I'm not getting weaker at any point. Like if I'm like cutting weight for something, I don't want to. I want to make sure that my strength is staying the same or going up, and then as soon as it starts to get to that point where my weight's coming down and my strength's going up, and then all of a sudden hits that plateau, that's probably where I should be. That's probably fighting weight, right? Which is usually about 175 for me. So, okay, tricep dips. I don't go all the way flat. I put my feet up a little bit, so it's a little bit easier, so I can get a longer time under tension. Okay. Pull downs. So I want to explain with the bands for this movement specifically. At the end of the movement is where it's the most tension. So what I like to do is pull down and do like a squeeze at the bottom, like a time static contraction, I guess they call it, down, and then nice and slow up. And then eventually I do start to pull down faster, but then squeeze at the bottom and hold long negatives. So in general, with this style of like the high intensity training style, from what I can gather, is it doesn't really matter if you lift quickly, how fast the positive is, as long as the negative is slow, or at least the negative is controlled, then you're hitting the right areas of the muscle. You figure if you're doing like a curl, like a cheat curl, and use your back and you just wing it up to the top and then hold it, it's kind of resting on the bones. So that's why you want to have it more controlled, so it's on the muscle. But lifting fast is what gives you, what's hard on the joints. So when you do both slow, not only can you use lighter weight, so it's safer, it's just safer on your joints in general. They call it, you can call it shearing forces, which we get a ton of in jiu-jitsu anyways, from getting twisted and turned and reefed, and everybody's moving fast and pulling and pushing, and so we get enough of that in the gym on the mats. We don't need to do that in the weight room. So, okay. Sometimes I gotta kind of find how high to go on this, but sometimes the last exercise of the set, everything's already burned out. My triceps are pretty burned out right now. I can feel that they're all swollen, which is good. Next is overhead press. We're going to actually finish with overhead press with 30s, and then we're going to do isometric front raises, which are brutal. And then we're going to finish with some lateral raises with some light weights. That is going to be an absolute brutalizer of a set. Caffeine.
I got the best spot there.
Where? Over there?
Yeah, I got to sit there.
On my coat?
Yeah.
Where do we get the good shots? Are you getting paid for this?
Hopefully.
What? How much do you charge?
I don't know. Like $10.
$10 for a 40-minute workout?
Yeah. Right now it's 20, almost 24 minutes right now.
That's expensive. Why are you so expensive?
I don't know.
Hitting them back arms. CT Fletcher says. Okay, these suck. My shoulders hurt. Now, one thing that I like to do is instead of pushing up right from back here, is I like to put my elbows in a little bit. I was taught by my physio that it's pretty much the same muscles. You just don't have as much of a shoulder impingement because I have something wrong with the back of my shoulder. So I just kind of tilt my arms in a little bit. This is going to be one of the shorter sets because the overhead press is my weakness along with dips. But as long as I'm progressing, I'm going in the right direction. So a few more seconds here and then I'll hit this set. And then a little isometric action. The thing I do like about these workouts, and the reason why this is the only type of workout that I will skip if something doesn't feel quite right, is because of the amount of focus that it takes and the fact that I don't want to do it unless I'm doing it better than last time. This isn't one of those go through the motions types of workouts. I have lots of other things for that. So it's not this isn't a skill work. This is using the weights and the resistance in a way that fatigues every muscle fiber that I can in that area so it can grow and get bigger and stronger. And it actually going to failure like that on these sets, it actually spikes your heart rate multiple times through the workout, so you're actually kind of getting a little bit of a cardio thing. There's a lot of HIIT training people that think that you don't need any cardio at all. I'm not one of those people that believe that, but they do say that. All right, ready? Get my second wind up here.
Get the right angle.
Yes, get that right angle.
This looks good.